Remember how we started this season as 700 to 1 outsiders? Well, I hope you put a few euros on us staying up because it's the halfway point in this Eredivisie season. And just look at that. We're ninth. How on earth did we climb up so high in the table? Well, that's what we're here to find out today. We ended last episode just before our first big three clash of the season away to PSV. A team that we had, of course, put up a good fight against in that cup quarter-final back in season 1. It looked like we were going to take a heavy beating in this game though, as we went behind early on and indeed found ourselves 2-0 down in less than 15 minutes. Although De La Cruz would pull one back on the half-hour mark, it would ultimately be a narrow defeat. Well, the scoreline was narrow at least. Never mind the stats. We bounced back from that disappointment though with 3 wins on the trot. First a 1-0 win over FC20, then a 2-1 victory over FC Volendam, and a 1-0 win over ADO Den Haag. Granted, all those games were at home, but these are the kind of matches we would need to win if we were going to beat the drop. Also great to see last season's goal-scoring heroes De La Cruz, Van der Kust and Pinas getting on the score sheets as well. Our second Big Three clash would bring an end to that run of wins though as we travelled to Feyenoord and went down to 2 goals from Arsenal old boy Lacazette, bringing about our least convincing performance of the season so far. That defeat to Feyenoord would set us off on a run of bad results, suggesting that early season form was perhaps just a flash in the pan. A win over FC Utrecht would be our sole victory in a run of 7 games that included a narrow defeat to AZ Alkmaar and a drubbing at the hands of Ajax. Our bad form meant we didn't last long in the cup either. We did scrape a win over FC Dordrecht, but then we were beaten in the next round by Top Os, a team from the division below that we had beaten so easily the previous season. So how did we end up 9th? Well, a run of 3 games after that Top Os defeat finally broke us out of our bad run. First, a victory over FC MN with Michael De La Cruz finding his goal-scoring form once again. De La Cruz would get 2 again the following week as we once more got one over our old rivals ADO Den Haag. Even the presence of Blair Turgut, our former tormentor, couldn't stop us. All of which set us up for another meeting with Ajax, but this was going to be a special one. Because, for the very first time in this career, we would host one of the Netherlands' Big Three teams at the André Camperveen Stadium in sunny Paramaribo. But it wasn't De La Cruz or Van der Kust who would bring joy this time in front of a near-capacity crowd. It was Big Match Pinas. Sure, Jovic paid double what my entire squad earns in a week, equalised soon after, but 1-1 with Ajax. What a result! And that's how we ended up 9th going into the winter break. So what had half a season in the top flight done for our finances? Well, with travel costs still super high, we were once again in debt to the tune of just over £1.2 million. However, we were not as in bad a financial position as the last 3 seasons, thanks in part to increased TV money, quadrupling our season ticket sales, increasing our sponsorship money, and finally, from you clicking subscribe. Every time you click subscribe on the channel or like on the video, Robinhood get more money. Go on, give it a try. With our position in the league way above expectation, I told the board at this point that we would no longer be fighting bravely against relegation, but we would actually be avoiding it. And this allowed me to negotiate a little bit more room in the wage budget, which in turn allowed me to sign some more young American free agents. In need of more depth at the back, we signed Tim Velez from Oakland County. Good enough for the first team with room to develop? Yes, please. We also brought in Kevin Garcia from Charlotte Eagles. Not a starter yet, but one who gives us options in the attacking midfield position. Now, you may have spotted Gilbert Esquivel appearing here twice, and no, you're not seeing double. No, we didn't sign a namesake player. Here's what actually happened. Now, in the match reviews, you may have noticed me mentioning the same old names. De La Cruz, Van der Kust, Pinas, they've been getting the goals. And looking at the squad here, ordered by number of appearances, Estrada has continued to be a solid last line of defence. Antognelli has marshalled that gap between defence and midfield. Marcello has worked tirelessly up and down that right flank, while Jethro Machar has done the same on the left. Of last summer's signings, only Loney, John Bearcut, and midfielder Jay de Goossens have made any sort of impact. And some of the other new faces, like Esquivel, started to get restless. Enter Blackburn Rovers, who, probably as they're now managed by Philip Cocu, decided to look to the Netherlands for talent and liked the look of Esquivel so much they wanted to give me £120,000 for him. I negotiated them up to £175,000, but there was one clause I could not get them to drop from the deal, and that was a loan back clause. It seemed a silly reason to kibosh the entire deal, so I accepted it. So Esquivel was sold to Blackburn on deadline day and immediately loaned back. We also sent out 2 of our other youngsters on loan towards the end of the transfer window. Karsten Rosenthal goes to Italy to play for Pisa for the next few months, and Jaoud Idrissi is off to Almere City in the Keukenkampioen-divisie. I guess our newfound status as an Eredivisie team has helped us find teams lower down who are willing to take on our players. And our increased wage budget has also allowed us to get players like Estrada and De La Cruz and Felix Lay tied down to new deals. So with the dressing room leaders on new contracts, a settled squad allowed us to extend our mini run of positive results into a not-so-mini one. Vitesse, Willem and Herenveen all supplied 3 points, as we also managed 4 clean sheets in 5 matches, meaning the board, much to my surprise, have ended up satisfied with the requirement that we play defensively solid football. Our form bubble burst in late February as we crashed 3-2 at Volendam, but that means the surprising 9th place I showed you at the start of the episode is now 9th, with a game in hand on 8th. So we're still mid-table, but we're quite some distance from the relegation zone. Yet only 7 points from the European places. So what do you think, viewers? How far can we go? It goes without saying, but make sure you're subscribed so you find out in the next episode.